President Donald Trump has issued a fresh threat to the BRICS nations. In a social media post, he mentioned that any country aligning itself with the anti-American policies of the BRICS would face an additional 10% tariff. Now, this was a fresh threat to the fast-growing BRICS coalition, which now includes 10 nations and was originally represented only by Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa.
BRICS, the BRICS nations, I think that's breaking up very rapidly. We said that if they're going to go and do anything to undermine the dollar, that includes China. And I said we're going to put a 100% tariff on every one of those nations. And at the mere thought of saying that, I think that's all broken up. That idea has no longer sailed. Now, that would be a terrible thing for our country. It would be bad for the world. They wanted to undermine the dollar. 6 nations got together. They wanted to undermine the dollar. That didn't work out too well. Not going to happen.
Now, Trump had threatened BRICS nations of a 100% tariff if they so much as even think, in his words, about reducing the use of dollar in global trade. Now, this becomes very important and crucial, ladies and gentlemen, because recently, Russian President Vladimir Putin had delivered a major message to the BRICS nations and a clear warning to the US.
It is necessary to further expand the use of national currencies in mutual payments. The creation of an independent settlement and depository system within BRICS would, it appears, enable faster, more efficient, and secure currency transactions. Incidentally, the use of national currencies in trade between our countries has been steadily increasing. We all see that fundamental changes are taking place in the world.
He signaled that such a step would make transactions faster, more efficient, and safer, signaling a strong de-dollarization push. But why is de-dollarization so threatening to the US? In fact, not just Donald Trump, any US president would not be okay with de-dollarization as an international arrangement. Why so? Let's deep dive. Dollar is the international currency and the creator of debt. Debt, ladies and gentlemen, drives the world. More than 97% of the global money in circulation right now is debt. Dollar as an international trade currency gives the United States immense ultimate authority over how much currency or debt, in this case dollar or in the form of dollar, is produced. New debt creates more money in the system. And if that debt is in the dollar, the US has an ultimate advantage. To start with, access to unlimited debt, as the US can create it out of thin air. And it has been doing so since dollar was dealing with gold in 1971. Until then, dollar had to be backed by gold. But now, the US Federal Reserve can print as much money as they want by devaluing their currency, because the dollar is backed by nothing but a belief that the US will pay back its debt. And it has been happening. US has been consistently raising its debt ceiling. In fact, since 1978, US has raised its debt ceiling by more than 60 times. This is also one of the main reasons why interest rates in the US have been historically low, because it encourages more borrowing. The US controls international trade through SWIFT, and since then has weaponized the global finance infrastructure by excluding Iran in 2012 and Russia in 2022 from the Society for Worldwide Interbank Financial Telecommunication, also known as SWIFT. Since then, de-dollarization has become the talk of the town. Countries around the world have sought to reduce their dependence on the US dollar and the US-led financial system. Most notably, Russia and China began trading in domestic currency. And that has become a big source of problem for the US, which wants to sustain the dollar as an international currency. And that is the reason why President Trump is not only against the very idea of de-dollarization, but is also threatening those countries who are aligning with those countries that support it.